I am getting a lot of requests to make a lecture video on metaphysical poetry. So here it goes. The first interesting fact about metaphysical poetry is that the term itself was coined centuries after the poetries were written. The term metaphysical consists of two words, meta and physical. Meta means beyond or after, and physical means the physical world. So, by definition, these are the poetries which deal with themes of the beyond physical world. Now, what does it mean to deal with themes beyond the physical world? Do they write poetries on aliens or something? No, no, no. Physical world means the information we know about our physical world. In every age, scientific inventions, geographical and anthropological discoveries, along with philosophical findings, shape the way a person of that age deciphers the reality of that time. This includes the general understanding of the world, general information the mass has about science, history, and religion, the general understanding of the purpose and destination of human existence, to the understanding of the concept of God. So, metaphysical writers basically had questions beyond this general understanding of their age. Some common questions of those poets might have been like does God really exist? If yes, what is his role in human existence? What is the actual nature of reality and what is its difference from perception, which is largely guided by those general understanding of that age? Is everything predetermined? If so, then do we have free choice? What is consciousness? And is that limited to the brain? Actually, metaphysics can cover a broad range of topics from religion to consciousness. However, all the questions about metaphysics ponder the nature of reality. And of course, there is no one correct answer to any of these questions. And even the meaning of these questions might change time to time. You would find it really interesting if you search for yourself what was happening in the scientific, geographical, and religious spiritual sphere of 17th century England, so that different poets from different regions, without being aware of each other's writings, were actually concerned about the same questions. Their works were not even grouped together yet. In fact, until the next century, they did not know they were to be called metaphysical poets. Literary critic and poet Samuel Johnson first coined the term metaphysical poetry in his book Lives of the Most Eminent English Poets from 1179 to 1781. In the book, Johnson wrote about a group of 17th century British poets that included John Donne, George Herbert, Richard Crashaw, Andrew Marvell, and Henry Vaughan. He noted that these poets shared many common characteristics, and that is why he grouped them together. And according to the characteristics of their poetry, he called them the metaphysical poets. And now we should discuss what these common characteristics are. The first characteristic, which is typical for metaphysical poetries, is obviously their content, which we have just discussed. Also, I would like to mention that there are a lot of poets who wrote metaphysical poems keeping specifically in mind the questions on the concept of God. These poems can be called religious metaphysical poems. And there are some poets who wrote metaphysical poetries on the concept of love. They are called metaphysical love poems. Whether the poems deal with love or God, their spiritual and philosophical findings are somehow identifiable to each other. Whether the poetries are on God or on love, all the poems ponder upon the nature of reality. The second is the use of wit and intelligence in the choice of words and expression. The poems were indeed highly intellectual and sometimes incoherent for the mass to understand. The third characteristics may be said that all the metaphysical poets wanted to shock the readers with the choice of words and expressions. They sometimes used far-fetched metaphors and imageries too weird to expect. These complex and often lofty comparisons between a spiritual quality of a person and a physical thing in the world are called metaphysical conceits. A metaphysical conceit is therefore an extended metaphor, and these can sometimes last through the entire poem. The fourth characteristics, which I personally think is a very relatable thing for the modern reader, is the theme of carpe diem, meaning seize the day. That means you only live once, so do whatever you like. Drink life till the last drop, and most importantly, make the most of the present time. Finally, metaphysical poetries are a rare combination of deep feelings, sensual ideations, intellectual thoughts, and philosophical questions. A weird permutation of passionate feelings and logical arguments. These were the characteristics of the metaphysical poetry. But this understanding would go in vain if you do not analyze at least one religious and one metaphysical love poem according to these understandings. Intentionally, I did not give you any example so that you can take any popular metaphysical poem by Donne or Marvell or Harbut, like Good Morrow or To His Coy Mistress or Easter Wings, and analyze it yourself with respect to the above mentioned characteristics. I am sure if you can identify metaphysical characteristics of a poem, then the whole concept of metaphysical poetry would be much more interesting and understandable for you. Obviously, I am there, and if you find it difficult to analyze any specific metaphysical poem, just write in the comment section or send me a mail. I will do an explanatory lecture video on that specific poetry. Share this video if you find this helpful and support me through subscribing my channel, and write in the comment section if you have any other queries on any other topics of English literature. I would try to help you according to my understanding, because together we grow faster.